What's good, everybody, man? Let's go ahead and hop into it real quick and talk about it. I wanted to talk about it with y'all just live, though, man, because I didn't think I was going to have the time to go live, but ended up plans getting canceled. But I'm here. Wanted to talk about it with y'all and see how y'all feel about the new hire. Let's go ahead and jump into it, though. See if we can get some people pulling up. I know it's last minute, man. Um, I thought I would have been able to just drop a video, but man, here I am live, able to. What's good with it, Naomi? I see you in the chat. What's up with it? I'll give it a second, see if anybody pulls up, man. But it's news, it's news, it's news. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about this new one, about this new hire. It's interesting. I don't know if it's the right move. I don't know if it's the right move. That's why I had to hop in here and let me and see what y'all had to say about it, man. Yep, we pulling up, man. EJ, shout out EJ for pulling up. TC in the building. Ty Clemens, I see you, man. Lay's bag. He said, bro, I can't do this anymore. Look, is it that bad, y'all? Is it that bad? Let me know, Lay's bag. Joe Glisson, he said sickening. You know what I mean? I'm not, and if y'all watched that last live, y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of McDaniels. KB in the building. Shout out Washington, D.C. He says, what's up, Bray? What's up with y'all, man? What's up with y'all? Amari in the building was good, man. Cortez, I see you folks. I see you folks. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this hire. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down if y'all like it, or if you don't like it. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. I know I know it's last minute. Ray Love in the building. EG, what's good with the EG? What's good with you? He said Raider, rule number 1. As long as it works, let's go. As long as it works. I know a lot of people down on Josh McDaniels. I know a lot of people feeling some type of way. Let me see if I can close this. Let me see if I can close this real quick. I know people feeling some type of way, but give me one moment. Let me see if I can close this joint real quick. Because it's giving off a little glare. Giving off a little glare. Yeah. It's good. It's good. He said, it was that the door? You pointing towards the door? It was that. He said, home run higher. I am the base as home run higher. Okay. And I feel like there's a huge spectrum of people when you talk about this hire, man. There's people that say there's a home run. People out there saying they sick. Some people saying, look, it's not as bad as what we had. I'm trying to figure out where y'all stand with it. Personally, oh, Big Jersey, man. He says more red flags than a blood meeting, and we signed him. Oh, snap. That's cold. Man, look, we just warming up, though. Once y'all get in, if y'all can, make sure to rate the like button. Y'all know how it works. So if y'all new, hit the subscribe button. Let's talk about it, man. Josh McDaniels is now the Raiders head coach, and Dave Zeigler, who was the Patriots prior director of player personnel, is now the Raiders GM. ONT6 with the super chat. The bro says, Raid, I'm mad. Talk me off the edge, bro. Look, I don't think we should be too upset about it, man. ONT6, I know me and you go back and forth about it. We've talked about it several times. I don't think we should be too upset about it, man. Honestly, I think the hire it's not the best hire. Let me be honest. It's not the best hire. Y'all know I wanted somebody else. Y'all know I didn't really. Josh McDaniels wasn't my number one choice. But look, it's happening. I don't know if I could talk you off the edge, bro, but it's happening and we got to deal with it. Lenny the Cool says, Raiders done it again. Yeah, Lenny, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's hard. It's hard to be a Raiders fan, whether you like it, whether you if you don't like it, because we're going to have to deal with this for at least a few years, man. And you think about it, we just made the playoffs. So if we don't make the playoffs next year, what does that mean? What does that boat for us? I don't think that boats too well for us if we don't make the playoffs next year. We basically should have a similar team intact. At least we're a very young team, a very young roster. We have a quarterback. I mean, at this point, we got to keep going up. We got to project upwards. Element Pro says, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm disgusted. This is the worst move I've ever seen. Damn, Pro, you feel like that? That's wild, man. That's wild. I don't know if it's the worst. If I don't know if I would say it's the worst, but I'm disgusted as well, man. I don't know if I like it too much. I've been trying to be optimistic about it. I've been trying to stay positive about it, But boy, this has been a tough one. This has been a tough one. Jackie Chun in the building. He says, "What's good, Ray? What did I miss? Look, man, we just warming up. I just wanted to pop in, talk to everybody, talk to the subscribers, man. See how everybody's feeling about this hire. I know I already dropped the video. I didn't think I'd have a chance to go live, but here I am. I'm able to." And Lenny says, "Raiders going the Patriots way. All you need now is Belichick and Brady." True, man. True. That's the most important part when people talk about, the Patriots way. Most important part is Belichick and Brady, in my opinion. And that's why it's kind of hard to not sit here and be critical of this hire. It's hard not to be critical of this hire, right? So very interesting hire. Let's see what else everybody talking about in here, man. Las Vegas Raider DJ says Carr will shine with bruh. Was Brady OC for all his 6 Super Bowls? Yeah. And he may be able to bring in some creativity as well, man. Digital Prez in the building. What's good with it, Prez? I see you, little bro. Pizzle says, I hope he gets rid of Carr. It's crazy because if he gets rid of Carr, who would he bring in? I'm just curious because I'm sorry, but would he bring in Jimmy Garoppolo? Think about that. Y'all need to take a step back. Josh McDaniels potentially would be able to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. Just think about that. So you see how ridiculous that sounds? Like, come on, man. I feel like he would do that. He would do something crazy like that, bro. Y'all act like it would never happen. Don't put that past you. Do not put that past you. But I don't think he gets rid of Carr anyways. So Shay Lopez says the key thing is going to be what decision is made for DC. And I think he keeps Derek Carr. I don't think he gets rid of him. But for people that are saying get rid of Derek Carr, that they think Josh McDaniels will get rid of him, who would he get? He potentially could get Jimmy G. Just think about that. Just think about that for one moment, y'all. I'm not saying Jimmy's an upgrade. Jimmy's definitely not an upgrade. Jimmy G's not an upgrade. But he was with Josh McDaniels. Come on now. He was with Josh McDaniels. Who else would he go get that's out there? You feel me? Like, come on now. You can't say there, though, well, you get rid of Derek Carr, then what? You're not really saying anything. Don't just leave an open-ended statement like that. You're not saying nothing, bro. DJ said he took the Carr because of the job. That's what I think, in my opinion. I think he took the job because he knows he has a quarterback already. I don't think he's going to leave where he's at to go somewhere where they don't have a quarterback. Also, unless he were to have full control, he's not going to be able to just go out there and pick whatever quarterback he wants. So you got to sit here and take a step back and be like, obviously he chose a destination that suited him well to where he wouldn't have to sit there and have a whole fiasco, figure out a whole team. We have stuff in place. Element Pro says, what makes y'all believe in Josh? Somebody help me like this. Somebody help him. Somebody in the chat help him. Pizzle says, Winston. Oh, my gosh. Winston? Is Winston the best you could do? Winston's the best you could come up with. So you're telling me you'd rather have Winston? You telling me you'd rather have Winston than Carr under Josh McDaniels? Bruh. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, bro. You cannot make this up. Craig says, one thing for certain is that the offense just got upgraded. Carr holds all the cards in this negotiation, irregardless of who the coach is, period. Carr will be extended. I exactly agree. Exactly. I agree with everything you just said. But let's go ahead and add on to this, man. Eduardo says, Ray, we got to go get JC. Need corners bad. Yeah, I don't know if we bring in JC. I wonder how much he would want. And I don't know how much he would want, but JC is pretty good. But it did come out that since we got Josh McDaniels and Dave Zeigler, we potentially could get a new defensive coordinator in Gerard Mayo. Gerard Mayo potentially could be our new defensive coordinator as well. It's not for certain, but I'm just putting it out there because I have heard that he will be looked at as defensive coordinator. Gus Bradley obviously won't be here. Ron Miles has been looked at for defensive coordinator spots. Rod Marinelli is being looked at by the Bears to be their defensive line coach as well. We already know about Rich Bisaccia is planned on moving on to be a special teams coach somewhere else. So we're going to have a whole new staff of guys. We're going to have a whole new staff of guys from special teams to OC to DC. And it's going to be interesting to see who the offensive coordinator is. But we know for certain that the defensive coordinator, hopefully there's somebody that's good, because it's going to look like we might have a change on defense. We're going to have a huge, huge difference on defense. It's going to be fun to watch, man. It's going to be fun to watch as far as that defense. I think the biggest surprise will be the offense. Element says, you can't make this up, bro. No, you can't. You can't. Tito says, how does Max and Yannick do in the 3-4 scheme? I don't think they do well in the 3-4 scheme. I've been said that. I know people said, oh, well, I want to run a 3-4 scheme. It's better. That's what most teams run. I mean, what are you talking about when you say most teams run it? Like, what does that mean? Most teams run 3-4, so just you have to run 3-4 to be successful? I don't think so. I don't think that's true whatsoever. I just don't think that's true whatsoever. I don't think it matters what kind of defense, as far as 3-4 or 4-3 that you run. You just have to have a good defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? That knows what he's doing. A lot of the times people run multiples anyways, but I don't think they would vote well in a 3-4 scheme. That's just my opinion, bro. Honestly, that's just my opinion. They like to have a hand in the dirt. They're not going to be a defensive end inside of a 3-4 either. I don't see that. I just don't see that. All Aboard Raiders says, people way too negative. All the McDaniels mistakes came 12 years ago. I guess people can't learn from their mistakes and change. I definitely hear you. I agree with that, because you can't hold the man's first head coaching stint against him when that was his first time out, right? Because it was 12 years ago. Like All Aboard said, you are going to learn. You've won. How many Super Bowls since then have you won? You see what I'm saying? 10 years? 10 years? You know what I mean? You go get a guy that's been with the team, winning successfully for the last 10 years, versus we went and got Gruden, who the last 10 years was just in a booth talking on television. Think about that. So, just putting in perspective, you can't be too upset. Now, again, just a disclaimer, I'm not a big fan of Josh McDaniels. He wasn't a candidate of mine. He wasn't a big choice of mine. I'm just saying, and I'm being transparent here. 10 years he's been with a successful team. He's had a successful offense, versus John Gruden, who was pretty much just on TV for the last 10 years. We brought him in. So if you were high on John Gruden, there's no way you could sit here and be that low on Josh McDaniels, So I agree with that, man. Was Gruden and Mayock better? I don't know if Gruden and Mayock were better, in my opinion, because one, Gruden, I think he had some stubbornness to him. He had too much control as well, and that's what hurt us. Gruden had too much control. In this situation, I hope that Josh McDaniels doesn't have a lot of control. I hope so. I hope he does not have a lot of control. If he does, then we're in some stuff, man. We're in trouble. If Josh McDaniels has too much control, we're in trouble, in my opinion. Right? We need Dave Zeigler to be the GM, and we need Josh McDaniels to be the head coach. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want a division in power. I don't want one person with all the power. So hopefully we can get that. Let's see. Craig Leahy says, I agree with you, brother. Our person was set up for a 4-3, and the D-line had a great year this year. This should be exciting to see how the staff develops. Exactly, man. I think bringing these guys in will help this coaching staff. We should have a good defensive coordinator, a younger and a good defensive coordinator that's going to be able to be multiple and bring the pressure. And knowing the Patriots, we're probably going to run a lot of man. Shout out Gerardo Escobar. Appreciate you pulling up, man. If y'all can, we over 100 deep. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Can we get the likes up to 100? Can we get 100 likes? Please, let's see if we could do it, y'all. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys could be anywhere, because I'm sure a bunch of people are alive. I'm sure a bunch of people are alive right now. But I appreciate y'all being here. Now let's get back to the comments, man. Hold up real quick. I'm getting a phone call. Let's get back to the chat. Raider Casper is out here. Shout out Raider Casper. He says, Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll were trashed their first go-around too. Thankfully for the Patriots and Seahawks, they didn't have the mentality as some of our fans. I wouldn't look, Casper, I definitely agree with you. The fact that every head coach's first stint isn't going to be great, right? You just named a couple of Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, but you know what I mean? Let's not take shots out of our fans, right? Let's not take shots out of our fans, but I definitely agree with you. Not every head coach's first stint is going to be perfect. Think about John Gruden. His first head coaching stint was pretty good. His second one was trash. You know, why was his second one trash? He had a good history. He won a Super Bowl. He did good with us. You know, so you can't always just base it off of that. Plus, it was so long ago, man. It was so long ago. You can't judge it off of something that happened so long ago. He's definitely developed. He's definitely learned since then. I'm sure he's a different coach now, and he learned from his mistakes being with the Broncos. So you gotta just take a step back. Let's not be too overzealous about it. Cruise Control says he held back DC. Who was that? John Gruden you talking about? Redder Wolf says he approves of All Aboard's message. Shout out to All Aboard. Says he approves of All Aboard's message. Yo, if we can, let's see if we can get to 100 likes, y'all. We got over 120 people already. If we can, let's see if we can get them likes to 100, y'all. Make sure to hit raid that like button. Let me know what y'all think. ONT6 says raid, can I pull up, brother? Yeah, let's go. Come on, bro. This is a fan chat. This is for y'all. This is a fan chat. This is a fan chat. This is a fan chat. You feel me? So go ahead, brother. I'll put the link in the chat for you, ONT6. If you want to pull up, go ahead. Let's talk about it, man. Also, if y'all want y'all comment to be viewed, best way is to put a super chat. Also, if you want to join the membership, go ahead and join the membership. We do film study breakdowns every other Wednesday. We'll be doing every single one of last year's game as well. So hope to see y'all. Jason Taylor in the building. What's up, my G? How you doing, man? Jamie, appreciate you pulling up. He says, I don't know. He says, I don't know jack about McDaniels, but I will ride with our team. Let's fucking go. I hear you, man. Jamie, definitely keep supporting, brother. Appreciate you being out here talking football with us. Taylor says he likes Mayo for DC. Definitely sounds good. Cruise Control says, dude, McDaniels is a kid in a candy shop. Yeah, coming over to the Raiders. We have a lot of cap. We have a young team. We have whatever you want to say about the quarterback. We have a quarterback consistency there. So, I mean, he definitely has something. Let me pull the boy ONT6 up real quick. What's good with it, man? What's good with it?
Not much, bro. Just freaking disappointed and shocked.
He said disappointed and shocked. Let me get the digital presence comment real quick, and let's hop into it, man. Digital press says, I have no negative type of feeling towards the signings today. I'm going to remain optimistic about the moves Davis has made so far, but Zeigler needs to manage his role in power and hold Josh accountable. I 100% agree with Digital Prez with that, man. That's a very good comment. Very well said. Let's go ahead. What makes you upset about it the most, though, Six? What makes you most upset about it? Because I know there's a lot of fans out there that feel the same way as you, and then I'm trying to be that other side to where I can be somewhat optimistic, because y'all know I'm not a big fan of Josh McDaniels, but I'm going to try to be optimistic. So go ahead, man. What makes you upset about the signing?
This is the thing. My brother's a Patriots fan.
Yeah.
He told me himself that Josh McDaniels is not a good head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he proved that, you know what I mean? We went to the Broncos, man. He got rid of Jay Cutler his first year he was there, bro. He drafted Tim Tebow, traded up for Tim Tebow, bro. The last year he was with the Broncos, he only drafted 2 good players, Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker, bro.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And
he had full control of that team, bro. You know what I mean? When the Raiders played them, what are we beating 59-16? Do we not remember this? I mean, he's made a lot of questionable moves with the Broncos. You know what I mean? Yes, he's done a lot better with the Patriots because of the GM bringing all that talent in for him. He's the one that signed those 2 tight ends for him, the wide receiver for his offense to work. You see, yeah, he does the play calling, but you know what I mean? It's hard for me to believe in somebody when I haven't seen him produce on the field. That's what I wanted Jim Harbaugh. Everywhere Jim Harbaugh has gone, he has won. Do you remember him at San Diego State, the Niners, Michigan? You know what I mean? He's a proven winner. And most of all, he knows the Raider way. You know what I mean? Why are we bringing in the Patriots way when we have our own way of doing things? That's the thing that pisses me off. You know what I mean? What I care about more than anything is getting back to the freaking Super Bowl and actually winning it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't tired of freaking losing. You know what I mean? I was a fan for us to freaking win Super Bowl, not to keep losing. I just hope to God that Mark Davis is right with these hires. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm still a Raiders fan no matter what. You know what I mean? But I just don't trust Mark Davis in his decision making. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
So with all that being said, would you say that holding on to something over 10 years ago is a bit you kind of have to brush it under the rug? You got to hold on to it, of course, but you have to understand that, look, people may grow up, people may change, because kind of like the fact that we brought in John Gruden, he didn't coach for a good amount of time, right? About 10 years, I believe, 10 years plus maybe. And the fact that he had history winning a Super Bowl, he had history with the Raiders being successful, but he came here and he just wasn't successful whatsoever. So wouldn't you say that it's almost like the opposite in this case, that maybe McDaniels wasn't successful his first term? That was his first head coaching job. He learned from it. He went back to the Patriots and was able to brush up on his game, and now he's able to be successful this go around. What would you say to that?
But I'm not, you know what I mean? It's hard for me not to hold it against, because that's the last time, he was a head coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can only go off what somebody has done in the past. But at the same time, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be optimistic, We have two tight ends. We have everything right for his offense, bro.
Everybody's saying you say know what I mean after everything.
I mean, I'm just mad right now, brother. I don't know.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you get. That's what happens when you get the boy hyped. You know what I mean? That's what.
Yeah, I'm just mad right now, brother. I'm trying to relax, but I don't know, brother. I just hope it's the right move, brother. I just hope it is, brother. Because the worst thing that's gonna happen to us if we miss the playoffs this season, bro. Imagine if we miss the playoffs. And the other thing that's worried about him bringing in this 3-4 defense. We already know Yana can't play in it, and I don't think Max can, brother. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Max has to end this motor." Yeah, he does, but what is that gonna do if he's not playing? If he's not playing the right position, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree. When it comes to the 3-4. When it comes to the 3-4, I definitely agree with that. I don't think we have the personnel for it. We'll see. We'll definitely see. EJ Redder said he pulled up. I'm gonna bring him up, see what he has to say about it, man.
No, and the other thing so everybody has to think about it too. All of our corners are zone corners. We got to bring in all new corners in. The only one corner on our team right now that can play man, and that's Trayvon Mullen. I don't care if everybody says he's handy, but he still can play man coverage. So we got to bring in 5 new corners now. You know what I mean? Yep. Think about that, guys. We have to rebuild this defense. What we just did with Gus Bradley this offseason again, bro. That's what I don't want to do. We just take 2 steps back forward on defense, then we're going to take 3 steps back now. Because we're going to get rid of all of Gus's guys, and we're going to bring in all these damn Patriots players in.
No, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. EJ, man, what's up with it, man? How you feeling about this hire, bro?
I don't know, man. I'm just neutral. I'm not excited about it. I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that thing with the Broncos stint, that was like 12 years ago, man. And he's like the right-hand man to Bill Belichick, man. I got to kind of give it to, he's our coach now, or he's going to be our coach. I don't think it's officially announced, but, you have to, I don't want him to fail. I want him to fail. That's 12 years of NFL experience he just gained, under Belichick. And everybody's like blaming him, like, oh, he's gonna do the same thing he did with the Colts. Yeah, but I had read something that the Colts front office, they wanted to like all the films and the studies and all that. They wanted all control of that. And McDaniels was like, wait, what the hell? You guys are gonna change everything? You're not gonna let me run the back stuff, breaking down breakdowns and all that. He's like, that's why he left. Everything he was told, I had read something everything he was told, they were trying to change everything. That it was what's his name? Chris Ballard wanted so much power too over McDaniels.
Okay. Well, I agree with everything both of you guys pretty much said. You can't really judge him based off of something that happened 10 years ago, but that's really the only thing you could base his head coaching on, right? Because he's been a head coach before, so the first thing you would do is go back and see how did he do as a head coach, right? But also you have to take consideration that was 10 to 12 years ago, right? So I feel like you take it in consideration, but also understand that it happened so long ago that he's definitely changed. He's not the same coach. He's not the same person, and that's personally how I feel. Now, does that mean I'm saying he's going to be the Andy Reid or the next Bill Belichick or something like that? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying I don't think he's going to come in here and be like how he was with the Broncos. That's what I am saying. I don't think he's going to come in here and we're going to be the Broncos. He's going to come in here, trade Derek Carr, and then go trade up for a quarterback in the draft and go get, Matt Corral or something like that. I don't think he's going to do that.
And he said he already likes Derek Carr. He said he likes Derek Carr, and he saw that what was the issues in the red zones. He says he's seen all that. He says he's going to change stuff up in the red zone that we weren't running, that we should have ran, and yeah. So I don't think Carr's going to be gone. I think he loves Carr.
No, I don't think he's going to be gone either. I just hear the frustrations, and I understand the frustrations, and then I also understand the people that like the hire, right? So I'm just trying to. Right now. I'm being in between. I'm being the mediator right now.
That's
you know
what
I mean? This is just for the people. You know what I mean? I'm just out here for the people, just to hear what they got to say. But at what point do we take a step back though and say that the 3-4 scheme may not be the best interest of our team based on the personnel? Like ONT6 was saying, we have Trayvon Mullen who could play man. Maybe he could play man, because even when he plays man, he kind of gets burnt sometimes. And then you move on to our defensive line. We have no defensive tackles. just for everybody to know, we have no defensive tackles signed. They were all on 1-year contracts. They're all gone. Jefferson, Falone, Solomon Thomas, Jonathan Hankins, were on 1-year contracts. So they're moving on. So all we have left really is Yannick and Max Crosby, and they cannot be defensive ends on a 3-4. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody tells me. They're not playing defensive end on a 3-4.
Like who brought up that we're gonna run a 3-4? Like, is it even confirmed for sure? It's because I know sometimes I know sometimes New England runs 3-4, but they've, based on personnel, they've switched up from 3-4 to 4-3 to nickel sometimes. Yes. So it's just, I know the Patriots kind of go by what their personnel is. So
yeah. And I had brought that up as well because there are multiple. They'll run the 4-3.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about the 3-4 for now, just because it's speculation. You know what I mean?
It's speculation.
And you bring it and it's conversation. But Jerron Mayo potentially may be the defensive coordinator, because let's be honest. I know it's not official, like you kind of saying that Gus Bradley's not fired, right? He's not. Well, I haven't heard yet he's fired. But let's be honest. Is Gus Bradley going to stay around? Is Gus Bradley really going to stick with this team? No. Like, let's be honest. He's out of here, bro. He's not staying, man. Jerron Mayo is most likely going to come in. It's already been reported that they're looking at Jerron Mayo as a defensive coordinator and Chicago's Bears linebacker coach, I believe, as another defensive coordinator candidate. So Gus Bradley, in my opinion, is definitely out of here. I just don't know if our personnel on defense matches up well to play a 3-4. But, of course, a lot of things can change in one offseason, like we just seen last year, right? We just seen a huge change in defense last year. So a lot of things will change. But what's the number one takeaway from this hire for you guys?
That we're not going to get Devontae Adams now?
That we're not?
We're not going to get Devontae Adams. The history of the Patriots, you think they paid number one receivers like they're going to pay Devontae Adams $30 million? So us Raider fans, you better get that dream out of your head right now, brother. Devontae Adams is not going to be the Raiders this offseason. As much as we wanted to, it's not going to happen. We're going to be trapping this offseason for wide receivers. We're probably going to get DJ Shark and Allen Robinson, which I'm fine with. But at the same time, you got to get that out of our head that we're going to get Devontae Adams right now, because that's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think we even should get Devontae Adams. I'll be honest. I hope we don't.
Not for $30 million.
Yeah, as far as the $30 million goes, I hope we do not. If we get Devontae Adams, I'll be even more sick than hiring Josh McDaniels. Because how do you go into that saying we can't hire? Think about it. Think about everybody. We couldn't keep Khalil Mack because we didn't have any room for contract. We couldn't keep this receiver because we didn't have room for contract. We couldn't do this. It's bullshit. At this point, it's all bullshit. But I don't want Devontae Adams. $30 million is too much, bro. I'd rather get Allen Robinson and just go draft a receiver. Like,
for real, I rather just
because we still have to keep Hunter Renfrow as well. If for the people that want to keep Waller, oh yeah, you're gonna have to give him at least a little bit more.
Not just that. Think about everybody in that draft class is coming out. Josh Jacobs, Max Crosby, all of them got to get paid too, bro. So I don't know how everybody thinks this is like fantasy football and we can sign everybody. No, we have a cap, guys. You know what I mean? That's why it's a cap. You know, what do you think the Packers are in shambles right now, and the Saints too, because they went for it this last couple of years and they didn't win it. Now they're in cap hell, and that was just us a couple of years ago before Mike Mayock and everybody came in and started getting the cap and everything on the situation again, bro. So I don't know. We have a lot more questions than answers right now. That's all I gotta say.
Most definitely. Let's see what the comments are saying, man. Bruce Brown says biggest difference is coaching. We will bring aboard people that have a history of looking at their players who put them in position to be successful. They're coming from a cultural excelled in it. Oh, they're coming from a culture and excelled in it. Yeah, and I agree. I think this coaching staff will be a major upgrade from last year's coaching staff. That's just my opinion, of course. That's for the whole team. You know what I mean? From all the way from the GM all the way down to the special teams coach. I think we're going to have a major upgrade. So,
well, I don't know. We did lose Ron Minus, and then we're going to lose Rod Marinelli too, man. And they were better at their position coaches, bro. So I don't know. We might downgrade there, but as far as head coaching and stuff, yeah, bro. Because Rich Passia was not it, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Rich Passia, yeah. And I mean, the thing is, though, Rod Marinelli, if you think about it, our defensive line got worse when he came in. It got worse when he came in. We had I can't remember his name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Somebody could probably help me. The defensive line before him, Buck.
Buckner. Yeah, Buckner.
Yeah, Buckner. Our defensive line performed better under him.
Yeah.
It
And then the very next year, it literally declined. Like I think we were like last in sacks when the first year Rod Marinelli came. We were like third or fourth, something crazy like that. And it ended up getting worse. Then we brought in Yannick, and it looked good. Well, Doug's going to look good. We spent a bunch of money. We got so many free agents for the D-line. So, yeah, it's going to look good. Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson, and then we brought in Yannick. So, yeah, the D-line is going to look better. But I don't know. Buckner was a pretty good coach, in my opinion.
I like Buckner. And another guy that I wish we had never gotten rid of was Danico Autry. He's a guy I really liked, too. Man, that was a big loss on the D-line.
Yeah, Danico Autry was definitely good, man. I think he's still on the Colts, isn't he?
Yeah, no, Autry, is he on the Colts?
I don't know where he's at anymore, man. Last I heard he was on the Colts. Let's get to the chat real quick. See if anybody, see what everybody's talking about, man. People were saying, "Go get Adams." He said, AP says, "Go get Adams." I don't even care. He says, "I don't even care." Yeah, I'm not for it though. I'm not paying 30. I'm sorry. I'm not paying 30. Can't do it. Minish with the super chat says, I don't like the move, especially if Jim was available. I just hope it's not another rebuild and just adding pieces.
The only thing is Michigan offered him, they offered him an extension too. They probably offered him a lot of money to stay at Michigan.
To bring in for who? Jim Harbaugh?
Jim Harbaugh.
Oh yeah.
No, he's interviewing with the Vikings right now. You didn't hear that? He's interviewing
with the Vikings. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's interviewing with the Vikings. And that's confusing because how did we not interview, or what was that about? Like, how did we not pursue, or any news? No news came out saying the Raiders requested to interview Jim Harbaugh.
I thought you did over Zoom.
No, from what I heard, what's his name? I don't know. It was on what's that ex-football player show? I forgot, but I guess
I heard you talking about you're talking about I'm drawing a blank, man. Why am I not thinking about it? Pat McAfee.
Yeah, it was on that full show. I guess Adam Scheffler went on there and told him that I guess the interest was from Jim Harbaugh to the Raiders, but the Raiders had no interest in Jim Harbaugh whatsoever.
And
so I don't know.
That confuses me. I don't know.
That really does too, bro. Especially too, he used to be a Raider. He knows what it means to be a Raider. He wanted to be the head coach of the Raiders, bro. That's the thing is, you know what I mean? It just sucks that it didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because I think he would have been perfect for the job. He knows the Raider way, and instead of that, we're going to try and do the Patriot way now. So I don't know.
Pull up, Arkham. Go ahead. Pull up, Arkham. It's all good. Autry is with Tennessee. I seen a comment. Somebody said Autry is with Tennessee. Yeah, Arkham. If you want to pull up, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
I thought Dodds was going to be the for sure thing. That's what shocked me. I thought it was going to be for sure Dodds' GM.
I thought Jim Harbaugh was coming too because all the recruits from Michigan, they told that he was leaving. So, I mean, I don't think he's coming, bro. So, it just, man, just heartbroken, bro.
Robert says Harbaugh wanted control of all personnel, which could possibly be true. It could possibly be true. I think.
Maybe Mark Davis. I had
also heard. I had also heard that Josh McDaniels wasn't going to do an interview unless he was going to be hired.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear about that?
Yeah,
I did.
I feel
What up,
like
everybody? What up, Ray? What up,
what's
ONT?
good with it,
What up,
Arkham?
DJ?
Appreciate you pulling up, man. Appreciate you pulling up.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. Let's get your initial thoughts on it real quick, bro.
All right, brother. So definitely, I have mixed emotions, brother. Personally though, I'm reserving judgment until we see what they're gonna do. I wasn't thrilled about the hire, but we could have done worse, right? We could have done worse.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, man, I'm just trying to be optimistic, thinking, all right, so we got McDaniels, somebody that can work with Carr. Hopefully, McDaniels can bring somebody in like a Brian Flores for DC,
Yep.
And it's 50-50, bro. But it's either gonna be a boom or bust at the end of the day, right? It's either gonna propel us to that Super Bowl or it's gonna hinder us. And at this point, bro, I'm just gonna support our our new coaching staff. Like I said, I'm not thrilled, but it's a wait and see approach for me, brother. How you feeling about it, Red?
I definitely agree. I like the fact that you said it's definitely a boom or bust, because I agree with that 100%. I don't think we're gonna be at this level of, I want to say, mediocrity or anything like that, but I would think it's either going to be a type of season to where we're like, we completely failed, or like we're contenders in the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
and
I agree.
That's kind of how I'm feeling, because depending on how they approach this team and how they want to, I guess, stack upon it or whatever they plan on doing with it, if they start a rebuild or do anything crazy, then it's going to be heartbreaking. It really will.
Absolutely.
So hopefully too much control and too much, they don't try to do too much, right? Try not to make too many moves or anything.
Yeah.
So outsmart
they kind of,
as we have to say.
I agree, but at this point, I think we can't get, our coaching staff can't get too cute with their choices. Like back in 2016, man, after Del Rio, when Gruden came in and blew it up, and we could have just added, right, to what we had.
Yep.
So they don't try to get too cute with it, just really build on what we have. I really think we can make some noise next year in the playoffs,
Yeah,
more than anything, absolutely, brother. I definitely want to see our red zone issues get fixed. And I think that Renfro's going to have another monster year under McDaniels.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely should, and also the tight end, and also the tight ends. They should be able to get some work in with them two tight end sets. I know we've seen it before with John Gruden, but we know it's not going to be exactly the same. We know that. ONT6, man, you itching over there, bro. What you got a second thought?
No, but this is the thing: is what if he wants to bring in Trent Brown again? What if he wants to bring Nelson Aguilar over here, dog? You know what I mean? I'm just thinking, bro. Like, oh my god, my mind's just running wild right now, bro. I'm just mad, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, I feel you, man. I definitely feel you, man. Farrell says it's official. I like the move overall as far as McDaniels. Not too sure about Zeigler. Look, I know everybody's
I just don't like McDaniels. That's a problem.
See, and this is the thing with this hire, it's just all over the place. I feel like with the nation, because, like you said, you're not too worried about Zeigler, but you don't like McDaniels. The boy Farrell says he likes McDaniels somewhat, but not sure about Zeigler. And then, I don't like McDaniels myself personally. I don't like McDaniels.
Zeigler has, a record of him turning around the team. You know what I mean? He did it with one off season with all that money that Patriots had off season. You remember all the players just signed and everything just to turn him around? He did it all with the rookie quarterback as well. That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about much when McDaniels coming in the offense. I'm just worrying about him. Is he a leader of men and can lead this team? You know what I mean? And him not messing up the defense. That's what I'm worried about most, because we literally just made the playoffs. If we're gonna take a step back, it's gonna be a waste of a season. You know what I mean? We need to make a playoff run next season. So bring it back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it would be more than just a waste of a season, because if we do bad next year, that means it's going to be a domino effect. It won't be – I don't think it'll just be one bad season, then we're going to go, right off into the sunset. No, if we have a bad season next year, it's going to probably be ugly in the locker room. It's going to be a lot more, because it's going to be talked about that Max Crosby, Derek Carr wanted to keep Rich Bisaccia.
Y'all did.
If it turns out bad next year, then it's going to basically, it's going to be really a slap in the face to Mark Davis, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, but that's how is Mark Davis going to sell Josh McDaniels to it? That's the thing, bro. I don't know.
I don't know about that one, bro. I don't know about that one. Y'all got go ahead, DJ.
Oh, this is the next head coach that's going to lead us to the promised land, bro. Like, I can't take it seriously. That's the thing is, I don't know if he can lead the players in the locker room, bro. I don't know. That's a good
point, ONT.
I was say another thing that I'm gonna like about this duo is that with Mayock and Gruden, it just seemed that there was a very big split between them. They were never. It just seemed like they were just not on the page the same much. I think that's gonna be different with McDaniels and Zeigler. They've worked together. It's gonna be more cohesiveness. They're gonna know what each other wants. They're gonna be looking at during the drafts and the personnel. They're gonna be on the same page. Unlike just Mayock and Gruden, it didn't feel like that at all ever. It felt like there was always a split. Was it Gruden? Was it Mayock? That's the one thing that I think it's gonna be a consistency in the personnel choices.
Yeah,
I definitely agree with that, bro. Go ahead, Arkham.
One thing, fellas, that I kind of wanted to ask. So, with McDaniels, he really likes using the tight end set, right? The two tight end set.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is, I do like Foster Moreau as your tight end too. But how do you guys feel about bringing in like an Njoku or an OJ Howard as another tight end to complement Waller? Because that way we can really have a two-headed monster.
Gronk. It's interesting you say that because
Gronk.
Grizzly Raiders just brought up. He said, "Raid, would you like to see Gronk join our tight end room?"
Hell yeah.
Waller, Foster, and Gronk would be nasty to go along with Drake.
Why are you gonna go waste money on a tight end position when it's not even a need? That's the thing you guys need to think about. This ain't fantasy football, guys. We need to build the team correctly. Why are we gonna go give Gronk 30-something goals?
Talk your shit, OT. Talk your shit.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm tired of these guys that have fantasy football. You know what I mean? That shit don't work, bro. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Where we have Waller, we have Monroe. Who else do you guys want? You know what I mean? We got to do this right. We need to waste all our money that we have on our defense that we're gonna go to the 3-4, guys. Okay? That's what we think about. Yes, but I like Gronk. Yes, I would love Gronk too, but we don't have the money for that, guys. Just like we're not gonna have the money
I definitely agree with that, ONT. With spending a lot of money on defense, but the thing is, the person that I mentioned, like Njoku, he's not going to command top dollar. He'll be a really good compliment, but he won't command top dollar. He'll be middle of the pack tight end. So that's a reasonable name.
Foster Monroe, man. I believe in Foster, man. I mean, we need to get him out there more, and him and Waller are going to tear it up. The thing is, we need to get another receiver in here too. And
we absolutely need another receiver.
But the main thing I'm worried about is this defense. If we're going to go to the 3-4, man. Especially
that is very true, man. Because we're gonna need a whole new personnel scheme.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, if we go to 3-4, you think Diablo can play with it on the outside? You know what I mean? I don't think he can. The only player that I know on the linebacker core that actually played in the 3-4 was Denzel Perryman over there with the Chargers before. You know what I mean?
Littleton can play that 3-4
defense before in that 3-4. So I don't know. That's what has me worried about more than anything, man. Especially the little progress that we did see in this defense and the way we've been building the defense to play the 4-3. And all of a sudden, now in the offseason, you know what I mean? You guys want to go get Devontae Adams or we want to go get another tight end when we have to fix the defense. We're literally got to go get 5 cornerbacks this offseason because all of our corners can play man, zone. You know what I mean? I don't know if Nate Hobbs can play man. He's a zone corner, the great zone corner, or slot corner. You know what I mean? This is the thing, guys, that stuff that goes through my mind that that gets me worried and keeps me up at night as a Raider fan, bro. You know what I mean? Most me off, bro. It really pisses me off when people say stupid shit like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like everybody's saying that we need to go trade for Aaron Rodgers and fucking Russell Wilson. Yes, we should. Would it be an upgrade at quarterback? Yeah, but if you're the Packers or the fucking Seahawks, who are you gonna want in return? Max Crosby, Colson Miller, a bunch of first-round picks, and a couple of young rookies on defense. And what is that gonna leave us with the team with Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson and what else?
No, I agree. We're not a quarterback away from Super Bowl contention. We need way more pieces. So I was never on board with trading for another quarterback. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we need to be able to put up more points on the score. And another tight end would definitely help. So that's just an idea that I'm throwing out there. But I definitely agree with the ONT where we need to reload on that defense.
And I remember
now, brother.
I remember Ray saying that too, that we need to start from building on the defense, and I agreed with that. I feel like we need to build the defense first and then fix the offense later. I mean, go ahead and get your wide receivers, but man, I feel like we just really need to invest in that defense now. And hopefully that's what McDaniels decides to do. Because I'm full on board. And we should have started last year, man. I still feel like we should have got Christian Barmore.
Do you guys know if Matt Patricia ran a 4-3 or 3-4?
He ran a 3-4. My brother's a Patriot fan. They run a 3-4. Yeah. They sometimes run in the nickel, the 3-2 or whatever, but they're mostly a 3-4.
Gotcha. So pretty much whoever we bring in is more than likely going to be a 3-4 guy.
Yeah, that's the thing is too. We're gonna need new defensive ends, new outside linebackers. We're gonna need another middle linebacker with Denzel Perryman, dude. We're gonna need another corner. Yeah. You know what I mean? It just our whole defense is gonna be all just I don't even want to think about it, bro. It just gets me mad and depressed and like, what are we gonna do, bro? That's why this draft is gonna be key too, bro. We cannot mess up this draft at all, especially with our first round.
The draft, brother.
I don't know, but it just depends. It depends who we hire on defense, because the first pick says it has to be a defensive player, no matter what. You know what I mean? I don't want to draft nobody on offense in the first round. I don't care what receiver there, what guard or what tackles there. No, we need defense in the first round. I'm tired of that. Straight up. I'm sorry.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. We definitely got to go defense first round.
There's a lot of good first round corners too.
Yeah, there is some good corners. There are some good corners. To touch on what ONT6 is saying, man. So you want to stay in the 4-3. You want to stay in the 4-3 because of the personnel. But I don't know if that's going to really happen. Whether it's Gerard Mayo, Matt Patricia, the coach from the Bears, they all pretty much predominantly run that 3-4. But we have a lot of cap, bro. By the time post-June, I believe we should be top 5 in cap space. But with that being said, we have a lot of players we have to re-sign, like we were talking about earlier. Renfro, Crosby, Carr, of course. Jacobs, I believe Ingold. If we want to keep Abram, there's Molin. There's so many players. Waller can get an extension. There's a lot to go on. In our draft picks, like you said, the draft picks, I don't know if I'm too worried about it, man, because last year the Patriots did decent in drafting. I'm still skeptical of it. You look prior to just last year, and it was terrible. Patriots terrible at drafting.
That's what I'm saying.
And Josh McDaniels, we'll see what happens with him. As long as he doesn't have too much control, like we kind of discussed, as long as he doesn't have too much control of the team, he's not picking the draft picks, right? He's not making every decision in free agency. The GM is the GM, and the head coach is the head coach, right? So that's what we need, I think, most importantly. And when it comes to the defensive coordinator will be the defensive coordinator. I think we just need that Gruden mentality out of here to where he controlled everything. Kind of like what EJ was saying. We didn't know who was making the pick. We didn't know if it was Gruden. We didn't know if it was Mayock. Now that kind of goes out the window. Now we can differentiate whose fault it really is. You know what I mean? Before we couldn't really pinpoint that. But I think we'll be okay. You know what I mean? I'm not really tripping too much, honestly. I just feel like based off last year with everything that happened, all the tragedies, we had Rich Bisaccia as the head coach. Oh, like if I were to ask you, ONT, do you think Rich Bisaccia is a better coach than Josh McDaniels?
No.
Do you think Greg Olsen is a better offensive coordinator than Josh McDaniels?
No.
So, I mean, with that right there, you kind of I'm not saying that Josh McDaniels is the answer or anything. I'm not saying that. But just based off those things, we have to somewhat look forward, right? And you have to carry that optimism. I know you spoke facts. Josh McDaniels didn't do well with the Broncos. If he came in here, traded away Derek Carr, then went and traded up to draft a quarterback in the draft, I would be devastated. I'd throw up. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's going to do that, though. I think he learned from his first stint. I think he knows what he wants to do because he wouldn't have taken the job. He could have had other opportunities. Do you think other teams would have hired Josh McDaniels if they even had the opportunity? I think they would. He just wouldn't give them that opportunity. And it's kind of like what we've heard, what we've read, that he wouldn't want to take the job unless he knew he was going to be hired, right?
Yeah.
And he's making that decision, right? He knows he wants to go to the Raiders for a specific reason. And I think that reason is because we have a quarterback and it's because we have things set up. And I don't think he would come in here and want to rip it apart at that point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like he wouldn't choose a specific spot and be like, I want to go there just to rip it apart. I don't think that's the process. I think he wants to go there because he sees the pieces are there to be successful. And we just need to get over that hump. And hopefully that's the case. You know what I mean? And of course, I'm speaking optimistically.
Yeah, and to add to that, I was like, and that's why I feel like it's gonna be different than the Colts. He's got his team similar to the offense he was running with the Patriots, but now that he's being able to bring his own staff in, he has a GM that's on board with him. All the stuff behind the scenes too, he's gonna be able to control. Unlike the Colts, where they wanted to change the whole structure, the whole system last minute, and he said, "I don't want none of that."
Yeah, and to add to it, also think about our personnel. How much different is our personnel from what the Patriots really run, right? We have good tight ends. We have a pretty good running back. Our offensive line, you could question our offensive line if you want, but it's definitely could add a piece or two, and it would be a very good offensive line in my opinion. Miller's good. I like Andre James, how he's developed towards the end of the year. I think he'll come back, have a good season next year. And then Alex Leatherwood, we know he's not going anywhere. Let's be honest. So we need a guard, maybe a right tackle, maybe only one of those guys, maybe just a right tackle. And I think we'll be okay.
My bad, ready to cut you off. Do you think we keep Denzel Good at right guard and move Leatherwood back to right tackle? Or what do we do in that situation when they come back next season, bro? That's what I want to know. You
actually, man, you brought me to a great thought, bro. Finally, maybe not finally, but I think Tom Cable's out of here, bro.
That's what I want.
Tom Cable is finally gone. Does this mean Tom Cable is finally gone? Like, this is probably you think about the Patriots, bro. Their offensive lines have been pretty much great, like for decades now, right?
Yeah,
for decades now. So if we can develop this offensive line and get this running game going, which Josh McDaniels has done year after year, like regardless of who's at quarterback, their running game is still going to be moving, right? So this is also a great development for Josh Jacobs going into his really a contract year. You know what I mean? A year to where whether he performs well or not, it would depend on whether we franchise tag him type stuff, So it's going to be interesting, man. Let me get to the super chat, and I want to hear what EJ and Arkham Raider are thinking, man. Mo Dizzle says, almost everyone on D is on one-year deals or short-term deals, so that 26th ranked D was going to get turned over anyway. Offensive scheme will improve. 100% agree, Mo Dizzle. And just to add to that, we know what's up with our defensive tackles. We don't have one. We do not have any defensive tackles, so we're going to have to find defensive tackles anyways, right? As far as the defensive ends, though, to reply to this super chat, what would you do about it? We know we have Yannick and Max Crosby. They're not going anywhere. So what would you do in a 3-4 when you have those two DNs on your team? Malcolm Kuntz, he could play in a 3-4, though, in my opinion. When he was in Buffalo, he had his hand down in the dirt, but also you would see at times he was standing up on the edge and would also drop back into coverage. So that, I think Malcolm Kuntz would be able to pop in there. Interesting draft pick would be Georgia's defensive tackle to pop in for that 3-4 for the defensive tackle, and I think he would do wonders there. But what do you guys think about that though?
I actually like him. That's what I want in the first round, but I don't think he's going to be there, to be honest with you. He's too athletic and too big. So I think somebody's going to get away before
We're talking about Davis, the DT from Georgia, right?
Yeah, just the defense in general. Whether it would be too much overturned to make it a 3-4, or if we're just actually, in the right position to overturn the defense. Considering right. Casey Hayward, he's a free agent. Casey Hayward's a free agent. We had no D tackles, so really at this point we would have to replace Casey Hayward.
Yeah,
or maybe not replace him. We have to sign a corner, and it potentially could be Casey Hayward, but it potentially could be J.C. Jackson instead of Casey Hayward now. You know what I mean?
I feel like Casey Hayward's going to go wherever Gus goes. Most of these guys are, especially with him being out of the building. If we do go to that 3-4. There's going to be a little bit of turmoil. I feel like the first couple of games of the season, our defense might struggle a little bit, kind of trying to gel, especially trying to get new D. It's like we're retooling it all over again. So that's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's going to be part of the growing pains switching over to that 3-4. But I do have faith that we can make it work as we get the right DC in. Right now, Brian Flores is my top choice, and I'm thinking that Klee can also play in that 3-4. Littleton can, maybe quit with up to some degree can, but I wouldn't be opposed to getting rid of some of those guys, to get some cap and use that to be able to bring in more players. I think another player that we might bring in too for that 3-4 defensive tackle spot would be Hicks from the Bears or Calais Campbell. They would be a nice 1-year stopgap, or maybe even get one of those guys and still get Davis in the draft and have one of these guys mentor Davis. So that they show him different moves, different techniques and things like that, so that his sophomore season, he's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the fact that we could go get a veteran defensive tackle, because I've thought the same as well. I think it's a great idea. Teams do it all the time. The Ravens did it with Calais Campbell, like you said, and they only gave up like a 5th or a 6th. Like, think about it. I'd give up a 5th or a 6th if we had Calais Campbell on this team last year. Think about it. Like how much better would our D-line be with the Calais Campbell for a 5th or 6th round? You see what I'm saying? Now, with that in consideration, we ended up getting Nate Hobbs, which is we kind of like Nate Hobbs. So, it's probably not the best example for this draft, but we know 5th and 6th rounds aren't that valuable. So, in comparison to getting a Calais Campbell. So, one guy I've mentioned is like a Grady Jarrett from the Falcons. I feel like we'd be able to go out there and potentially trade for a guy like that, veteran, seasoned in the league. He's about 30 years old. I don't think he had too many injuries or anything like that. And he's still a competent defensive tackle and could come in here and help the defensive line. So I like that idea, getting a veteran defensive tackle as well, man.
Hell yeah, brother.
EJ, what's your thoughts, man?
I just feel like the defense wasn't nothing stellar last year, to be honest. I feel like if it's gonna be overturned, it could be this year that just start building it again. And I'm on the same page. I've been on the same page as Arkham. I feel like we should go I've been like we need to get like a veteran defensive tackle. Just to even for a stop, like you said, I'm on the same page as Arkham. There's like just a stopgap right there. There's players out there that you can get. This is a good defensive draft. If you want to build a 3-4, there's going to be options out there. I'm sure there's moves they can make, whether it's trading back, trading up. I don't know. There's options, but I feel like this is the year that if you're going to overturn it to a 3-4, I feel like it could be this year. And I mean, like Malcolm Kuntz, I think Malcolm Kuntz will fit a 3-4 pretty well as well. So we got some pieces there to overturn it this year. And like he said, it'll be a struggle. It'll be different, but yeah, and then I'm on this page with Auntie Six, though. We do need corners. Corners are something we really need. I don't know. I don't know why they're saying that. We don't need a corner. That corner's not need. We need a corner.
No, we definitely need a corner, man. Let me get to this super from my boy Cruise Control. Appreciate it, man. He says, Raid always looking at it from every angle. MU ponder. I'm not sure what that means. Is it makes you ponder? I'm not sure what that means. But appreciate the super chat, man. What would you guys do about the cornerback situation then while we're on it? Think about it. We have Mullen. He's one spot, right? He's a CB2 at best. He's a CB2 in my opinion. What would you guys do about the other cornerback position?
I don't think there's that many good cornerbacks available in FA either next year. From what I've seen the list, it didn't look like there was very many good cornerbacks. I was like, I think we're just gonna have to draft one in round one. That's what I would do. In round one, I'd get the cornerback. Cornerback, or if that's only if Jordan Davis isn't there, because I do like Jordan Davis a lot. But other than that, I'm not too sure. I just seen the list for FAs. I just didn't like very many of the quarterbacks.
I'd say either we break the bank for JC Jackson or bring in somebody like a Stephon Gilmore if he's a free agent. I'm not too sure about it. Or we go in the draft like my boy EJ's saying. Not too many choices, but we definitely have to get some man-to-man corners because our zone corners aren't really gonna, they're not built for that.
Nope.
And the one player that I am worried about is Hobbs. How is he going to come into this scheme? Because I really like Hobbs. I really like what he brings to the table, and I don't want to get rid of that guy. But I would want to see what he can do in that man-to-man.
He's in my opinion, he's not that great at man. I thought that when he was coming out of college. I think he does wonders in Gus Bradley's system. I think he does wonders in Gus Bradley's system. But once you take him out that system, we're going to see a different Hobbs this upcoming year, in my opinion. So we'll definitely see what happens. But maybe our DC can definitely help him make those adjustments to become a better man cover corner. So we'll see what happens, man. Raiders 805 says Hobbs will adjust. Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. Brian B Rod says, Raid, can you look our cap and how we can save money? I could tell you straight up. We can make potentially 3 different cuts. Littleton, Nassib, and Nick Kwiatkowski. Those 3 right there, I believe, are 3 guys that we can make a cut post-June cuts, and we'll save around like 20 million in cap. We should be able to save around 20 million in cap if we cut those 3 guys. I think the only one with dead cap would be
Littleton, right?
With Littleton, like a significant dead cap that you would like maybe bat an eye at a little bit, So I think that's the way we'd be able to save some money right there. We'd also save money by not spending all of it on one wide receiver like Devontae Adams. I'll just put that out there as well. Minnie says, will they make Gerard Mayo the DC? I think he is. I think it's already I think the moment we went and it's Zeigler, Josh McDaniels, it's a domino effect. Then it's Gerard Mayo and all these, you know what I mean? It just comes, that's just how it works, in my opinion. You know? This is how it works.
And the other thing I just thought about right now, what are we gonna do with Abrams?
Oh, I think Abram's staying, bro. I think Abram's staying.
Is he gonna be playing safety or is he gonna be playing linebacker next year?
He's gonna still be like playing safety. He's still play safety, in my opinion, bro.
I only hope because I got some shit signed from him.
I mean, I don't know what Mayo's gonna want to do with him, though. That's the thing,
bro. I think if we bring in a good defensive coordinator, we will see a different kind of John Abram, one that is way more multiple, bro. I don't think he gets enough. I don't think we work John Abram enough. I think we're too lazy with him. He should be in the backfield a lot more than he is. As fast as he is, as much burst as he has, as hard as he hits. Why is he not being blitzed more? Why is he not around the line of scrimmage just jumping around? He should be literally running back and forth across the line of scrimmage, confusing which way he's going to come at the quarterback, if he even does. You know what I mean? Like, this is the I just want to see that, bro. You see Derwin James moving all around. You see Jalen Ramsey moving around. I'm not saying Abram is those guys, but he definitely could be used in a way to where his production would be ramped up and not caught 40, 30 yards downfield getting mossed. That's just my opinion on that.
That's too. I was disappointed in Gus Bradley because he's the one that had Derwin James. I thought he was going to have in the Derwin James role, but he really did this year. He just had him at the line of scrimmage.
Yep, he just had him close to the box the whole time, which isn't a bad thing because he is good against run. But like Ray is saying, I would like to see us and see him for him to blitz more because he can really get to the quarterback.
Yeah, Jonathan Abram is way more versatile, in my opinion, than what he's being used for. Like, he could move around a lot more, you know what I mean? He got some energy to spare, you know.
And blitzes and that, aren't they better in a 3-4 defense? Like, you can disguise that better. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I feel like Abram will shine better in a 3-4.
Yeah, but also another thing is, I know we talking about the 4-3 or the 3-4. Let's be honest, though. How often are people really coming out in a base, like a base, you know what I mean, defense like that? Most of the time, we're in some type of nickel. Like, you watch defenses, they're mostly in nickel. You're not going to go out there and play Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, all these guys in a 3-4 or a 4-3 majority.
They'll pick that apart.
You would probably rarely see that. Most of the time, it's going to be a nickel, some type of nickel with a double A gap or some type of, you know what I mean, linebackers around the line of scrimmage. So, we could dwell on it, but at the same time, I think that nickel formation is what's most important in the NFL today.
No facts.
Do you guys think Bill O'Brien's actually be the OC? Because I seen that he was Josh McDaniels had been talking to Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, so and this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, it's the domino effect. It's the domino effect. Once you get the first, you know what I mean, the first guy, it just trickles down at that point. So, in my opinion, I think it might be, bro.
OT all riled up.
Yeah, I don't think we need, you know, none of us want Bob as our OC, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's gonna be kind of like it is now, where our head coach is gonna be calling all the, you know, offensive plays, kind of like how Gruden was with Ollie.
I have no respect for that man. He traded the best receiver in the league for David Johnson.
Yeah.
Let that sink in, everybody. Let that sink in, everybody, for a second.
Oh, but let's take it. Hold on, ONT. Is this Bill O'Brien, the GM that we're getting, or is it Bill O'Brien, the offensive coordinator?
I was gonna say, I don't think Bill O'Brien would be the GM. That's the thing, isn't being an OC. And to be honest, Bill O'Brien, he was a good coach. Put it as you want, he got the Texans to the playoffs. And he was a good coach.
I don't think he gets I don't like Bill O'Brien. Personally, I don't like him like the person.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really like the person that much, bro. Honestly, let me be honest about that. But as far as a coach, you can't just sit there and say, he was a terrible coach. Because, I mean, their team, the Texans, when has the Texans ever been good and who was the coach? Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? And Bill O'Brien was the coach the only time they were somewhat successful. He was the coach when they were somewhat successful. So, as far as a GM, though, we know he can't come in here and be a GM. He would be the OC. So, as far as the OC, I wouldn't be too worried about it, man. I wouldn't be too worried about it. Raider Alley says, as an OC, he should be fine. Yeah, man. White Tyson with the super chat. While Hayward would struggle in man scheme, Mullins and Hobbs would both benefit from man coverage scheme. Hoping Stingley slides to us at 22. Wow. How do y'all feel about that super chat and Stingley if he were to slide to number 22 in the draft?
I actually like him, but I don't think he's going to be there at 22 either, brother. That's the thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? I like picking towards the end of the draft in the 20s. It means the playoffs, bro, but it just means it's going to be harder for us to draft now. You know what I mean? We're not picking the top 10, top 15 anymore, brother. We got to, there's going to be, don't get me wrong, there's going to be one or two players that are going to be shocked that we're going to be shocked that are going to be there because, you know what I mean? The thing always happens in the draft. There's always quarterbacks that get pushed up more than they should be. You know what I mean? One quarterback's going to get drafted and then everybody else is going to start panicking and want to trade up, especially with these quarterbacks because none of them are good. That's why I don't think any of these should be drafted in the top 10. But from the mock drafts, it seems like all three of them are going to be drafted in the top 10 or something. But
there's no way Stingley falls that low. There's no way. Too athletic.
Stingley falls to 22.
And there's a Sauce Gardner too. That's
those are the top two corners, right? Top two corners. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone by 22.
Corner's just too big of a need in now's NFL. There's no way to
call that. You need to have more than one corner. You need to have at least 4 or 5, especially with all the receivers, 5 receiver sets people are coming out with now.
And and that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. We might talk about the 3-4-4-3 thing, but most of the time you have a lot of corners out there. You mostly in some type of nickel dime situation. Yeah. And not only that, the linebackers are damn near big ass safeties. You know what I mean? So, it'll be interesting to see how this defense transitions, man. Farrell from the East says, we just need to add some talent at the outside wide receiver and right tackle. Every player on offense is going to look better because he coaches to player strengths, top 5 offense. Farrell is a very smart brother, man. And the fact that he's coming out here to say that, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised, and it encourages me because a lot of the times he says stuff and it hits. And it hits pretty well. So what do y'all think about this comment from Farrell?
I like it. I don't know if we'll be a top 5 offense, but I think we'll definitely be a top offense now. Yeah. And I agree. Farrell definitely knows his stuff. With that right tackle and that number 1 receiver, we're definitely going to be taking our offense to the next level because Carr's going to have a little more time, and protection. And with that number 1 target, hopefully we can have somebody that can make those contested catches because like Brian Edwards, man, he didn't do anything this year. And then they were doubling up Waller and Renfro, so we didn't have anybody to throw to except Zay.
Perk Z says not top 5, but top. He says not top 5, but top 3.
I'll take a top 5, top 3 all day though. Yeah. That's a great offense.
Ray, I'm gonna let you go, bro. I'm gonna take off. I gotta take off to Fresno.
Yes, sir, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. I hope I'm on some other lives in the future, man. You guys have a good one.
All right, take care, brother. Man. Stay up, bro. Salute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was the boy EJ right there. Appreciate him pulling up, coming through, give his words of wisdom. You know what I mean? We still got Arkham and ONT6 with us today. We just hired Josh McDaniels as the Raiders' new head coach, as well as GM Dave Zeigler, former Patriots director of player personnel. We'll see how this all unfolds this upcoming season, man. Let's see what's cracking in here, bro. SC says Andrew Booth is better in man. He would be a good fit if he slides at 22. Andrew Booth.
Sure, brother.
I don't want a corner in the first round. That's just my opinion. I don't want a corner in the first round. I'm good off that.
You want in the first round, Ray?
I want to trade it, bro. I want to trade it, and it goes back to kind of what you were saying is we're not in the top 15, top 10 anymore. We're not going to get this player that we really want, I should say. You know what I mean? We might need a player, whatever the case may be, but I don't think we're going to get that value at where we're picking at unless somebody slips, like we've been talking about, unless a Stingley or a Davis slips, unless let's say a Lille, he's another defensive tackle that's real promising, unless a Lille slips or something, unless a Sauce Gardner slips, right?
Yeah.
In this draft, where we're picking, I see us getting a wide receiver. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm saying that's what I see happening because there's so many receivers in this draft, and I feel like the defense is kind of top heavy to where there's like we talked about the cornerbacks. There's that top 2. The defensive tackles, there's the top 2, right? Mm-hmm. Outside of those top guys, where are we gonna look? What are we really looking at? Who are we gonna really name after those top guys are gone? Right when it comes to that 22nd pick, that's why I kind of want to trade it, and why I think the Raiders will end up getting a receiver or potentially an offensive lineman, which would make me sick, man. But Farrell just pulled up on us, man. What's good with it, bro?
Hey, what's good,
What up,
everybody?
Farrell?
How y'all doing? What's up, man? So let me just chime on the last comment, because I know a lot of people at first, everybody hates the Patriots. Everybody hates the Patriots. Everybody doesn't like the Raiders and the Patriots in the same sentence, just because we just don't like that team. Just all the way back, you could just go all the way back to that Tuck Rule game. But if we get our emotions out of it, just think about it. At first I was kind of like, man, look what he did with Denver. He was 32 years old. And they gave him full control of I think they gave him GM responsibilities. So he was doing what Gruden was doing.
Farrell, if you can, try to adjust your mic a little bit. It's popping. Yeah, we can hear you. It's your mic is popping a little bit.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me mess around with this real quick.
Y'all
take over.
Says Burks
take
will
over
be gone in the first 15.
Damn, Chiefs just scored another touchdown, bro. God damn.
Who did?
To be honest, I would love to
score another touchdown
this year. Defensive tackle, or a proven corner, but it's not going to happen. The draft is in Vegas. We're making a pick, Ray. I'm sorry to tell you,
we're making a pick. Yeah, we have to.
I'm like you. I want proven commodities. I'm tired of wasting these picks on rookies or give them a year or two to develop. No, I'm tired of that. I want proven commodities. That's what I'm saying. I want to go trade our second and third round pick and go get a defensive tackle from the Redskins.
Yep.
I love Deron Payne. This him come over here, please.
Yeah, Deron Payne. You know, I've been screaming just to get a defensive lineman from Washington, man. But Farrell, go ahead, continue on Josh McDaniels. He was 32 years old, his first stint. He was
32 years old, man, when he took that job, man. Like, he was pretty young. That's by NFL standards, that's like basically coming out the womb and you're a coach.
Yep.
And on top of that, you got to think about that. They gave him way too much power. And he didn't really know what he was doing. Like, this is like, imagine your first time doing something. You don't really know what you're doing. And I know I'm trying to play devil's advocate with a lot of these Raider fans that don't like the move, but sometimes you got to add a little bit of reason in order to understand what's going on. So, and for me, I feel like the X's and O's, everybody's co-signing everybody in football that knows football is co-signing the move. Man, I'm liking the move, man. I think the way he coaches, just hearing about how he coaches to players' strengths, that is going to be so huge with our team, especially for Derek Carr, especially for Hunter Renfrow, especially for Waller. Because I'm not going to lie, like, there were times where I would watch Raider games. I'm like, why is Waller not getting the ball? Why are we trying to force it to Zay Jones, or why are we trying to force it to this other player? You know what I mean? Like, players like Moreau are going to look way better. You know what I mean? Even though I think Moreau is not that as good as what people think. I think he's a solid player, but he's not no Waller. You know what I mean? Waller is a walking mismatch. And, I just think you add that McDaniels as a head coach to this offense, because think about Gruden did do a good job by building this offense, but he wasn't a good play caller. Good play caller. Greg Olsen wasn't a good play caller. And Gruden, he's that type of dude. He's very stubborn. He likes to force players to do what he wants to do. So next year, you're going to see with McDaniels, he's going to play to players' strengths. He's going to game plan for each opponent. Man, I think, man, this is going to take us to the next level. The only concern I have is what a lot of Raider fans have is he going to try to be something he's not? And I think that's what I heard what happened in Denver, where he kind of tried to be Bill Belichick when he's Josh McDaniels. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And when you're trying to be someone you're not, it comes off fake. And think about it. Anytime you come across someone and they not really being themselves, you're kind of like, who is this dude? Like, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And that's
you
what
can tell.
It's the human element. You got to take that into account. That's why Rich Bisaccia, he's just a special teams coordinator, but he did so well with the Raiders and won those 4 straight games is because they respected him. They like him as a person. But, Bisaccia can only take you so far. And I feel like McDaniels, that hire, it's growing on me, man. It's growing on me. At first, I was kind of like, But hey, I think this is gonna take us to the next level, man.
Most definitely, man. And like you said, it's growing. It's growing on me as well. I don't like Josh McDaniels, but it's growing on me as well, based off the factors you had said. Right, his first coaching stint, he was young. It happened such a long time ago. He probably learned from everything that's happened since then. Now he's going to come in here and approach it completely different, and not try to and come in here and be himself. Right, he doesn't have too much. Hopefully. Doesn't have
if
too much
and not to cut you off, if he tries to be Bill Belichick and try to force that Patriot way and try to be that tough ass dude, man, it's
not gonna work.
Man, it's not gonna work, bro.
Yeah, it's not
gonna work, and I'm with y'all. It's not gonna work. But if he actually grew as a person, because he was 32 when he got his first coaching job, and now he's 45. You know, like, let's be honest, like, you know, that's 12 years, 32 to 45. You're gonna grow as a person.
Yeah.
So let's you know, I'm just being positive. I'm just being positive. It's that time of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, we gonna win the Super Bowl next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
No, I definitely hear you, bro. Definitely hear you. And with everything, you can't come behind Gruden and try to act that way either and be fake. I feel like, because you will definitely get exposed for trying to be raw tough if you're really not raw tough when the coach before you was Gruden, because we know Gruden has been like that. Like his nickname is Chucky, and we know he was up there cussing, screaming at the players at practice, on the sideline, screaming at the refs. So if Josh McDaniels tries to come in with that fake stuff, the players will definitely be able to sniff that out, bro. They've seen the real deal, in my opinion, when it comes to that raw type of coach.
Right.
So hopefully McDaniels does keep it real, bro. Because what do you have to say to this though? McDaniels learned so much from Denver that he flaked on Indy.
Yeah, I mean, that was like 4 years ago. That was a questionable move. Like, that's crazy. But that tells you how good a coach he was, though. That tells you how good a coach he is for teams still like trying to interview him as a head coach. Like, I think I read somewhere where I think last year Eagles were trying to interview him. McDaniels turned it down. So he's kind of been waiting for that perfect opportunity.
Yep.
And the Raiders right now, they're like the perfect opportunity. I'm not gonna lie, like. We got the best facilities, new stadium. We got a quarterback in place. We got some young pieces. We got a full picks. It's not like we traded away all our future picks, and it says a lot that he was the number one candidate. That tells you like he's good at what he does.
And to add to that, like you said, he's rejected offers. So for him to come in here and say, I want that job, makes me think, why would he blow it up? You know what I mean? Why would he blow it up if he's specifically choosing which team he wants to go to? For me, it's him saying, I like the team. I like the pieces they have. Yeah. Why would he blow that up? Why would he go?
One of the things that I was reading was that, and I agree, right? Because one of the things that I was reading was that basically he was telling Mark Davis what he would do with this offense, how he would take it to the next level, how he would work with our players, and instead of blowing it up, just kind of how he would maximize the talent, right? And that's one thing I did like, because we don't need to blow it up. We just need to keep building, add a few pieces, and just take us over the hump. Because I mean that's really all we need.
Most definitely. Just to add to that as well, he's the offensive coordinator, y'all. You know what I mean? He's going to worry about the offense. I don't think he's going to be worried about the defense whatsoever. We will have a real defensive coordinator, like a real legitimate defensive coordinator. In my opinion, he's going to bring in somebody that is a real defensive coordinator. Not saying Gus Bradley wasn't, but we know he was like vanilla. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't. It was like kind of underwhelming. I guess the only word I could really use to explain Gus Bradley's defense. It was like, man, if we're up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth, they're going to come back.
Yep.
Yeah, and they did 4 times in the regular season. That's how we ended up in overtime.
And I think a lot of what the Raiders, not to cut you off, Ray, a lot of what Raider fans kind of like about Gus Bradley is that we improved. We improved from the
worst defense.
I don't even want to say his name. The other DC. But what I'm saying, we improved from him, and also he actually added some good talent, because Mike Mayock, he actually, the thing with Mike Mayock, and I know I'm bringing him up, but he actually listens to coaches. So like if you think about like who we drafted in the first round last year, Leatherwood, they said that was a Tom Cable pick, and all these defenders, you kind of have to think like, oh damn, like so this was Gus Bradley having a huge input on the players that he wanted. So that's why I give props to him. But that being said, a lot of Rays fans kind of looked at it a glass half full with Gus Bradley, but not looking at it like, look, he plays the same defense down in, down out. Like every now and then he throws a blitz, and it only works because teams don't expect it. They think that it's going to be a cover 3 every play. And you got to play chess. You can't play checkers, and this is not going to work against good QBs. A good QB will come. Man, like Patrick Mahomes kind of figured it out this year because his defense was too well. A lot of QBs actually struggled against 2-eye safety defenses. I noticed, but
the thing with Mahomes though is he played Gus Bradley his whole career. Actually, his whole career. So that one's an anomaly in my opinion. It's an anomaly bringing up Mahomes because he played him his whole career. So it's kind of hard. Same division. That was probably a bad idea to bring a DC from the same division, especially when you have the quarterbacks we have.
At the same time, I felt like Gus Bradley never made any adjustments, guys, and that was one thing that really killed us. Because we'd be getting killed in the flats, or we'd be getting killed in a certain spot, and we go in halftime, we come back out, and it's the same shit all over again. It's like, come on, Gus, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. He needs to go into his Madden coaching adjustments and move the flats to 0.
It's in the Gus Bradley, like people weren't really noticing it because we had so much like distractions this year, so much like issues. Because really the biggest disappointment of the year was our offense. And then all these distractions off the field were like, God, man, like you got Henry Ruggs, you got like, John Gruden basically getting like NFL basically took him out, and now we got McDaniels, and I feel. But the biggest question mark, that's what I wanted to talk about. The biggest question mark, I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. They're talking about McDaniels and his background and like, can he be a leader of men? Which I agree why people would question that. But I think the biggest question mark to me is Zeigler. Like, how can you trust the guy who's never made like decisions like that? Because he's been a yes man. So that's the only concern I had. I was like, man, maybe if they mixed him with Ed Dodds and McDaniels, it would make me way more comfortable than Zeigler. And,
so what do you consider? So last year, would you consider Zeigler being the GM? Considering that it was reported before the draft, it was reported that Bill Belichick actually handed over those decisions to the personnel.
I don't believe it, man. Bill Belichick, as long as he's alive, he's making that decision. I think it was a kind of a similar setup to what Mike Mayock, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't know if you guys can speak on that, but I just feel like Bill Belichick, if a guy's been making decisions his whole coaching career, like basically his whole coaching career, and then he probably made a small little adjustment. Maybe he probably took some time off. He went on vacation, and during that time, Zeigler probably took over and like was scouting in college and whatever he had to do. But I just feel like Bill Belichick probably made the picks that he wanted to make. The players that he wanted, he got. The picks that
to kind of answer that a little bit, Pharaoh. I do think that Zeigler did have some input, and the reason I say that is because. So the one thing about Belichick is he has his ways, right? With free agency, he doesn't really like to overspend or anything like that. This last offseason, he was actually spending a lot of money, going after big names, going after his guys, making different moves. So I'd like to think Zeigler had some type of influence on that, right? Because they brought in Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, the defensive end, I think, from the Ravens. They had a lot of splashy picks, things like that. Yeah, thank you, Judon. So I'd like to think Zeigler definitely had some input on that. And the thing that I do like about that is that Ziegler's not afraid to go get, his guys, to go get the elite guys that are on the market or whoever he believes will be the right person for the job. So that was one thing that I did like.
Well, most definitely, man. Let's go ahead and bring it up, though. I got it right here for us to take a look at the 2021 Patriots offseason.
Hold on, before anything, wait. Can we just talk about real quick about how DJ Williams came out and said the other day how the only reason they were winning in when the Josh McDaniels was the coach of the Broncos was because they were cheating?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
And DJ Williams, I know. I mean, I've been following. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, bro. So I've been following him since he came out of Miami, bro. And I'm taking him for his word of him saying that, bro. So you know what I mean? That's another thing that has me saying a little iffy about McDaniels, bro. When your former player is saying the only reason we won is just because we cheated, and they only won like 5 games that year too. I don't know.
But hey, in that same, because I watched the whole podcast, I seen the whole podcast. Sometimes a clip can be taken out of context, but yeah, that's crazy, and that's the Patriots. We all know how the Patriots get down. But let's be honest here: if you're a Raider fan, you know what we did in the past too, as well. What we were known for. What was the first rule? You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys remember. The first rule was something about cheating. You know what I mean? Like.
But, you ain't trying, bro. But I'm just saying, bro. I just think it's
you ain't trying.
Player because of that, and you only won 5 games. It's not like they went deep into the playoffs. They only won like 5 games that year, bro. So that's what I think is funny. They were cheating. Imagine they weren't cheating. How many games would you think they would have won?
That's a good point. It's valid. It's valid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you're wrong about that. I'm looking at it from a perspective of like. That was him at 32 years old. This is at 45. He's led multiple top offenses with the least amount of talent, and now he's coming to a team that, hey, we got some talent. We just need to add some outside receivers, a right tackle. Man, I'm telling you, I just feel like it's a.
We're still with players away on offense and defense, brother. But I'm just thinking we're making a mistake by just turning this whole defense over. You know what I mean? That's the only thing I'm worried about. I don't think we're going to be able to do it in one off season too. Especially too when Grass Bradley's been, you know what I mean. Once Yannick is gone, we got Malcolm Kuntz going to step in that spot. You know what I mean? He was already playing again for being here for a couple of years. You know what I mean. And he was getting chosen good players on defense. You know what I mean. So I don't know, man. I'm just worried. I'm trying to look at.
I'm gonna respond to that right now. ONT6. Let me get to this super chat real quick, brother. Let me just get to this. Raider Quan, appreciate you, Raider Quan, for the support. He says, "Who do y'all this will be? Man, y'all gotta help me out when y'all type these in, bro.
Who do y'all this will be?
Want this? Who do y'all want for OC and DC, and what to expect?
Who do y'all think are going to be the OC and DC?
Yeah, there we go. Think that was killing me. Who do y'all think will be OC and DC, and what to expect? There we go. Let's go ahead. Let's start from the left to the right, man. We got and for those who don't know, we got with us starting from the left to the right. First is Arkham Raider. Shout out Arkham Raider for pulling up, man. Yeet. And then we got our boy Farrell. Y'all know Farrell. He's been up here multiple times at ONT6. If y'all remember, and if y'all been with me for a while, y'all know ONT6. Now, let's go ahead and start with Arkham, man. Go ahead and answer this. See what Raider Khan got to say. And what do you think?
Absolutely, brother. So definitely with DC. Personally, I want Brian Flores. He hasn't had any head coach offerings, and he has that connection, right, with McDaniels. So that would be my number 1 pick. And then for offensive coordinator, I think no matter who it is, it's really going to be Daniels pulling the strings for the offense. So, man, I'm kind of torn there, fellas. I don't really have a candidate in mind because, again, I think it's going to be McDaniels calling the offense.
What about O'Brien?
If he's going to be just kind of having his input as strictly an offensive coordinator, then it's okay. Because again, at the end of the day, I feel like McDaniels is going to be making that last call, and he's going to be the one that's going to be in charge of that offense.
Mind you, the super chat says, "Who do you think will be OC and DC?" Not who do you want. So you don't have to hold back or anything and be like, "No, I didn't say I want him." He's just saying, "Who do you think will be?" Right. So it doesn't mean you want him. So
yeah, in that case, I do think it's going to be Bill O'Brien. There's already rumors out there, and there has to be something to it.
Yeah, and he is saying what to expect. So what do you think, bro? You think that's pretty accurate on Arkham Raider? What Arkham Raider got?
I think the OC is going to be McDaniels. It doesn't matter who's going to be there. It's McDaniels. Yeah. DC, I can see Gerard Merrill going there because he's a linebackers coach in New England, and for him to come to the Raiders, it would be a promotion. Mm-hmm. So he's not going to come here to do the same thing. He's going to come here to do something more than what he did, and it's going to be like a upward project because he was getting interviewed for head coaching jobs, but I think sometimes some of those interviews be like to prepare for like a future job to see how like interview process works. You know what I mean? So I think Gerard Merrill is a good candidate, or I don't know if he's a good candidate. I don't know. He's never been a defensive coordinator. in my opinion, I like Patrick Graham. He has some Patriots roots. If you remember when we played the Giants, that was Derek Carr's worst game to me, and he struggled against that defense. And that defense played well. It's just that they were injured this year with the Giants, and obviously Joe Judge got fired, and he's available. So if we can get Patrick Graham, and he plays a multiple defense. Mm-hmm. So I know you guys were talking about the 3-4 adjustment. Maybe he could come here, work with our talent, and maybe he doesn't have to change it to a 3-4 all the way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Patrick Graham currently is being looked at by the Vikings to join Harbaugh if that were to happen.
Damn.
Suppose that's the latest news that I just seen right now. I just looked it up real quick. Can't Stop, Won't Stop says, I don't know if you ever heard, but the Raider way was rule number 1, cheat, rule number 2, read rule number 1. So
boom.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Well, no, he's not wrong either. Bro. Bro. If they're cheating,
to add to that is our slogan is just win, baby. So if we're cheating and we ain't winning, then something's messed up. So
bro, committed to excellence, dog.
Yep. So let's get to this. Let's get to this offseason review real quick and see what we got in store. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Can y'all see it nice and clearly?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Where y'all want to start? Let's go ahead. Added via trade free agency. So we know about Trent Brown. They got him from us. Jonnu Smith, they picked up for a 4-year, $50 million contract. That's how much? How much money is that? 12.5 a year. Mm-hmm. Matthew Judon, which is a little bit more. What is that? Like 14 a year, something like that. So those are the biggest signings right there. How do y'all feel about those signings, Jonnu Smith and Matthew Judon?
Well, I'll take this one, Ray. My brother's a Patriots fan, and he loves both of them moves. Them moves paid out dividend for them this season. If it wasn't for them,
played well for them. Judon played real well for them.
Yeah, Matthew Judon most definitely. And
this is the thing that give the GM of the Patriots props. He went for players that fit their scheme. He didn't try to get players in other schemes to try to fit this. No, he went for specific players that fit their scheme. That's why I loved about their offseason.
Most definitely. And you'll see moving down. You got nose tackle Devon Gottschall. I believe he was a defensive tackle, was drafted by the Dolphins. Not too bad of a nose tackle. And I could see us doing a move like this, definitely. Getting a nose tackle that's somewhat under the radar, but very competent to run inside of our defense. You go down Jalen Mills. I don't like that because I don't like Jalen Mills. And then we see the big signing as far as wide receiver, 2 years, $26 million for Nelson Aguilar. Now we had Nelson Aguilar. If the Raiders signed Nelson Aguilar to a 2-year, $26 million deal, would y'all have been fine with it?
I would have been cool with it, but the thing is, he should thank Derek Carr for making that money.
Yeah, I think they overpaid for him a little bit because we offered him just a little bit less. And the thing about that, though, is that the Patriots were willing to overpay a little bit to bring in, quote unquote, their guy. And that was nice to see, though, because they're getting the people who fit their scheme and who think that's going to maximize, what they're doing. That's good, man, because, sometimes I feel like we've gotten a few players in free agency that have been like maybe the fits we'll kind of see. And it's nice to know that hopefully our GM is going to be someone that's going to say, no, I want this person because this is how they're going to help. So I'm going to make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, man. And you move down Kendrick Bourne, Henry Anderson, Hunter Henry, 3 years, $37 million. Look at this free agent signing, though, right? You have 2 tight ends, Hunter Henry. You have Jonnu Smith.
Yep.
One's for 4 years, $50 million. Another one is 3 years, $37. So you brought in 2 tight ends and paid them both $12 million. So you got about $25 million wrapped up between 2 tight ends.
Yep.
I don't know if I like that much.
If I remember, I think the Patriots was one of the teams that had a whole lot of cap room. They didn't make the playoffs.
Yep.
Obviously, they don't have a quarterback. You know what I mean? So they have a whole lot of cap room. And Bill Belichick, he likes to win. So obviously, he's going to try to do whatever he can to get back in the playoffs. So I understand why they really attack free agency. This is not really normal to build your team through free agency. It's through the draft. But hey, they didn't do too bad. I don't think they did.
No, they didn't do bad at all. They didn't do bad at all. I just don't like
saying?
picking up 2 tight ends. It's just interesting to me. I don't know.
It don't make sense to go sign Gronk either, man. Especially too when you got Waller at his contract and then you got Foster at his, man. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. We already got 2 tight ends, so I'm not worried about going to sign those. You go down. They picked up Karras. That was their center. They've had him for a while. It seemed like he returned a 1-year deal. Kyle Van Noy returned. He went to the Dolphins, I believe, and they brought him back
and came in mid-season and balled out for them. So that was a big move for them too, though.
Raekwon McMillan, he used to be on our team. We actually traded for him. Traded the Dolphins to pick him up. He walked away as a free agent. They picked him up.
Yeah, we gave away a 4th-round pick for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had. You know, it's funny. Like he played for us. He played. I remember we picked him up, and I remember he had one of the worst games against the Patriots. So I don't know what they seen on tape. If I don't know if you guys remember that game we played against the Patriots, I think it was 2020 season.
Yeah.
And like, if you remember those big runs from those running backs, it was him missing the hole. You know,
that's when Rex Burkhead was running all over our defense, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
I remember that.
Fuck the Patriots.
They let Marcus Cannon walk, trade him to Houston. Joe Thuney got signed by KC. And the rest are kind of Patrick Chung retired. Dante Moncrief. So nothing crazy going here. They re-signed. Nothing crazy. James White. David Andrews. 4-year, $19 million. Cam Newton. So, I mean, the offseason, their free agency doesn't look too bad. I'll be honest. The free agency doesn't look too bad. Do you guys want to go check out the draft real quick?
Yeah, I was about to ask about that. I want to look at that because I already looked at the Broncos when he was the coach. I want to see the Patriots.
And real quick, Ray, while you pull that up, brother, I wanted to ask: do you guys know if Donta Hightower is going to be a free agent this year?
I'm not 100% sure about that, man.
Because that's somebody we can always bring in. Is Hightower if he is going to be a free agent, be that middle linebacker?
Hey, Ray, bring up the draft history when he was with the Broncos first, and then we'll look at the Patriots.
I'm not gonna look at the Broncos, man.
We have to.
You gotta look at the Broncos, man.
You can't be biased all of a sudden, bro. We gotta look back then and now.
No. I'm not being biased. I'm not being biased. I think going to look at it doesn't do anything. That's it. That's just my opinion because 1, he's not gonna be making the picks. I don't think he's gonna be making the picks. 2, we're not trading up for a quarterback. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? And 3, he's not coming in here to build a team like he went to the Broncos to build a team. Like he already got a team intact. I think that first job told him like, I ain't doing that shit again. I'm going somewhere to where I ain't got to do all that, and I could potentially go in there and win right away. That wasn't happening with the Broncos, you know. So we'll pull it up though. Matter of fact, we'll pull it up though.
I'm just not. I don't want to look at this. I just don't want to talk about Tim Tebow. I want to look at the other years too, brother, because I'm not worried about them. I want to see the defensive players he drafted and everything is too. You know what I mean?
All right, let's pull it up. Here we got it right here. Let's share the screen. We have the Denver Broncos, 2011. Hold up, wrong one. 2009 draft picks for the Broncos. Here we go. Here's the 2009 draft picks from the Denver Broncos. When Josh McDaniels took over as head coach for them, we see first round, Noshawn Moreno. They had 2 first-round picks. First-round picks. They took Noshawn Moreno with the first overall pick. He was a very popular running back coming out of the draft that year.
He was.
I don't know really what happened to him. I think he was injury prone, wasn't he?
He was.
Didn't he catch the injury bug and he was just done after that? Robert Ayers, I remember him. Wasn't very good. I mean, he stayed in the league for somewhat of a while. Actually, he stuck around. Decent player. Alfonso Smith, I remember him. I remember Alfonso Smith. Not very good either. And you just go down the rest of the guys. Not looking too shabby as far as this draft goes.
Well, we're looking at the Broncos.
Yeah, this is the Broncos, 2009 Broncos.
Yeah, McDaniels is not going to be making the picks, man. Like they just got him a guy that he's comfortable with, that he's comfortable working with. So I feel like Zeigler is going to be making the picks. That's the wild card. Is Zeigler going to be a good GM?
Yeah, is he gonna be able to make it do what it do? Just to finish this draft pick off, the draft picks with the Broncos with Josh McDaniels, Demaryius Thomas, Tim Tebow, Zane Beadles, J.D. Walton, Eric Decker, Parrish Cox. I'm not gonna lie. Look,
Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker were good.
I'm not going. I don't want y'all to bash me right now, but this draft is actually not too terrible.
No, it's not.
The Tebow pick is suspect, but this actually isn't a bad draft.
Yeah, Zane Beadles was a good guard for them. That fool played for a long time for them, and so did the center too, Walton.
Yeah,
and Parrish Cox. They were all there for a while. I mean, It was just that first year's draft that he was, and that Tim Tebow pick for me. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted you to bring it up, Ray, just to get your guys' opinion too. But that's the only thing that made me worried when we hired him as well, because that's the first thing I did too. I was like, what? But that second year draft was pretty decent besides that Tim Tebow pick.
No, I hear you. I definitely hear you. Going to get Tim Tebow like that makes you worry. But let's go ahead and go to the where we at? We're going to the Patriots draft picks 2021.
Isn't that when they got Barmore in the first round?
No, they got him in the second round.
Yep, they got.
Oh, that's right. That's true, brother.
They traded up for him, I believe.
Yeah.
Shit, I would have traded up for him too. I ain't even mad at that.
That was a steal right there.
I wanted him in the second. One way or the wood, but that's another question.
We could have had Barmore and Trayvon Merritt, but let's not go there. First round. Let me get to some super chats, man, because I don't want to leave out the chat, and I don't want to leave out the super chats, man.
Can't forget about
chat gang going strong. Shout out everybody in the chat. We're about 250 deep. If y'all can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. We got ONT6 with us, Arkham Raider, and Farrell from the East. Shout out to all of them for being on the panel. Right now, we're currently talking about the new hire for the Las Vegas Raiders, new GM, Dave Zeigler. He was former Patriots director of player personnel, and we also have a new head coach in Josh McDaniels, former offensive coordinator for the Patriots. So let's get back into it, man. Can't Stop, Won't Stop says, I don't know if you ever heard, but okay, my fault. Wrong one. Ski skirt. He says, I heard Dobbs was a part of interview process with McDaniels. What part will he play with the Raiders? Will the Raiders go to a 3-4? If yes, who is the DC? Appreciate the super chat, Jack Kidd and JK, always pulling up, supporting. We kind of touched on these subjects as well, on these subjects already as well. I heard Dobbs was a part of interview process with McDaniels. I don't know too much about that. If you guys know anything about that, you could touch on it. I don't know. Is that like
I've seen some random comments from people saying that, but I didn't see anything from any like legit source, so I can't really speak on that. But you know, it is what it is. I think Mark Davis got his guy McDaniels, and it came with Zeigler.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with Farrell. I didn't see any official source put anything out there, but I would say if anything, Dodds at this point can be the VP of football operations now.
No, but this thing, I give Mark Davis props because he actually did it right this time. He hired the GM, and the GM got to choose his head coach. Not like the other way around we did with Gruden choosing Mike Mayock. So.
Yeah. And I remember I had made a comment or put out a tweet, and it was like, why are we interviewing coaches without a GM? And it brought me to the point of like every coach we hire before we get a GM isn't going to be our coach. That right there automatically just says they're not going to be our coach because we're interviewing them without a GM. It don't make sense. So
yeah.
I think that happened one time, and that happened because I remember I brought this up the last time. I said that Mark Davis, every time he's had a chance to like hire a head coach or GM, he's always did it differently. And with McKenzie, he had McKenzie hire his guy Dennis Allen. And that left a bad taste in his mouth, and he didn't like it. So then he got his guy in Gruden, or he chose Del Rio, and then he got his guy in Gruden, and now he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick. He didn't like the setup with Gruden with too much power. I think, in my opinion, I don't know. You guys can speak on it because I feel like I would think it was a mistake. You give Gruden too much power. That's crazy.
Yep.
So now he's like, all right, I'm gonna pick because a lot of people have been saying that Marcel Reese has been like his right-hand man, which is so random to me because you would think it would be like Charles Woodson or something like that, some Hall of Fame type player. But you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll see how these moves work out.
Well, definitely. Well, I mean, we have no choice but to see shit. At this point, we're just fans. we're just fans weighing to whether we're gonna have a heart attack or we're gonna be screaming because we're winning or whatever the case may be. But we'll find out, man. Jack, can appreciate the super chat. As far as DC though, man, I think we're gonna look at Gerard Mayo. That seems like the smoke is there. I don't see why it wouldn't be Gerard Mayo. I know people are talking about Brian Flores, but in my opinion, it's just maybe Brian Flores would potentially come, but if something opens up in New England, I think he would just go back there, in my opinion, before he come to the Raiders. But definitely, he's definitely an option. He's definitely an option at this point because he don't got a job. He don't got a job, right? And as far as switching to 3-4, we touched on that just a little bit, and we just don't think that the personnel is there right now, but it potentially could be. You know, a lot switched for us when Gus Bradley came. That was one off season, so. Brandon Abram says, I'm not worried about McDaniels as far as X's and O's in player evaluation. My concern is whether he's a leader of or not of men. And that's kind of what ONT6 has been saying this whole time, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Agree.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and jump back into this first round, man. We got Mac Jones. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
It's a good pick.
Number 15. How y'all feel about picking up Mac Jones?
It's a good pick. It's a good pick.
It's a great pick, bro. He fell to their lap and he fit their system perfectly, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the thing
That's
about
what I was
it,
gonna say.
the thing about it, the Patriots actually were gonna trade up to try to get Mac Jones, but when they realized he didn't have to, he was gonna fall to them. They had drafted him. My brother, because my brother is a big Patriots fan. During the draft, he thought they were gonna trade up for a quarterback. But when Mac Jones fell to him, he wasn't sure at first, but he's gonna be good for them.
Yeah, it's crazy how that worked out because I definitely agree, OT. I thought the Patriots were gonna trade up for him too, but then man, he just fell on the lap and it kind of all just worked out.
Yep. Most
definitely. Man, I think Mac Jones was a good pickup for them. I mean, he played the best out of all the QBs so far. Right now, he's probably the best QB out that draft. I mean, obviously by next year, who knows? Like one of these young QBs is gonna have a big year or whatever. And I think he's one of those, like, Mac Jones is one of those, like, high floor, low ceiling type of guys because I don't think he's going to get that much better. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he doesn't have a crazy arm. Like, he came into the league knowing, like, pro-style offense with Nick Saban. Like, he was ready to go. That's why it kind of worked out so well. So I feel like Mac Jones is a good pickup for them, though. It was a good pickup.
And the other thing is, too, that give props for the GM of the Patriots in the offseason, signing those 2 tight ends because what's the best quarterback's best friend? Tight ends. You know what I mean? That's why they gave those money to those tight ends to help Mac Jones out during
exactly why.
Go back to the offseason again. So giving them props for that as well.
That's the only thing they can do is pick tight ends. They don't know how to pick receivers, but they know how to pick tight ends, though, for sure.
They can't get nobody since they have Randy Moss over there. So I don't know what the hell. That's what makes me a little worried too, bro. If we take a receiver 2 in the first round.
Yeah, and you got to think about it, though. Was Bill Belichick the one making those picks? Like, yes. Because when I was reading the article, it said, you know, what happened with the number one factor apparently is the N'Keal Harry pick. Like that shit, that was just a terrible pick. N'Keal Harry's such a bust that I think that was the turn. And that's when it came out that look, Bill Belichick was like, all right, I'm gonna hand over the draft pick into y'all because you know what I mean? It just looked bad on his part. So, of course, we don't know if it's 100% true. Like Farrell was kind of saying that potentially, you know, it could have been a Mike Mayock Gruden situation. But I just don't think it would come out that he was handing it over if he really wasn't. That's just my opinion. You know, but who knows? Who knows? We're gonna find out for ourselves because Zeigler is now our actual GM. He's actually our GM. Mind you, he wasn't the Patriots GM. He wasn't at all. Bill Belichick is their GM. If you go look, he is the GM and the head coach. Zeigler is just the director of player personnel. So
you guys got to understand how bad a pick that N'Keal Harry move was because they could have got A.J. Brown. I think they could have got Debo. Could they got Debo? I'm not sure if they passed up on.
Yeah,
Debo,
they could have. I think they could have got Debo. Yep.
That was such a bad move.
Just like
that was a bad move. But I think that N'Keal Harry was the top-rated receiver on the board at that time.
It killed.
That was towards the end of the first round, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was. And Kill Harry's. The thing is, he was up in the era though. I remember specifically because I liked him, Kill Harry, bro. I did. He came out of Arizona. I wanted the Raiders to draft him. So that's how I know, man. And I'm glad they didn't.
And the thing that messed up about that pick, Herm Edwards sold the pick to Bill Belichick because he was the head coach over there at Arizona when he had him. You know what I mean? Herm Edwards was like, yo, did you have to draft him? He's going to be a good – and then look how that turned out.
That's the danger of like drafting players that don't have any speed and their game is predicated on physicality. When you come into the NFL, you playing against big boys. Like they not so if you're not like supremely strong, and I guess they thought he was going to be strong enough to handle it because his game he had a physical type receiver type game, and I guess it hasn't been working out for them. I mean,
yep. And to what you say, I gotta say on the other side of it, it goes both ways because if your game's built off speed, then that means your game may not last because you don't stay fast forever. You know what I mean? Once you lose that, so if you're kind of more polished, say you are more physical, you using your body and based off route running, you last a little longer. So it always goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? You look at players like Michael Pittman. I know we talked about him. He's not the fastest, right? But he's definitely a decent wide receiver that came out, and those two are kind of similar. And Kill Harry and Michael Pittman. That's why I brought him up. But
we can wrap this up real quick because I know you got to get to the super chats. But what's bad about the N'Keal Harry is that the Patriots like department. I think they had AJ Brown as number one, but Bill Belichick is like, nah, I'm going to get N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
So that's what made the pick so bad. It's like, damn, like, come on, bro, like.
You told us no, and you
know what I'm saying?
Decision. Yeah.
So if Zeigler was part of that staff that had AJ Brown as number 1 or 2, or you know what I mean, Debo Samuel, one or the other, then it might not be too bad for us because he's gonna be making the picks.
Exactly. Yep. I hear you, man. I hear you, Micah. I appreciate you pulling up and dropping a super chat. He says McDaniels red zone offense, sky's the limit for DC. Greetings right now, Germany. Shout out to Germany, man. I appreciate you tuning in. From out there. I'm not sure what time it is, bro. If it's daylight, someone probably help me out. But appreciate you dropping in. I think the same thing. I think our red zone defense, our red zone offense is about to look a lot better. That's just my opinion, especially the way he's able to run an offense with 2 tight ends is going to help a lot with Derek Carr. When you look at those numbers, when it comes to the red zone, I posted them plenty of times. In 2014 to 2018, we were top 15, and then all of a sudden, 2018 and on, we were bottom 25 or worse. And what happened in 2018? So
hey, I think Derek Carr is gonna have a huge year, bro. I think it's gonna be crazy because he's gonna play to his strengths.
Yep.
And players are gonna be getting open just based off scheme. Waller's gonna be getting open. Man, I think our offense is gonna be crazy.
And our run game, man.
Our run game too. Third down and 1 is not going to be predictable. Like we know that, hey, it might be a good play call. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get that first down instead of like, damn, man, like why do we run the ball? Because sometimes like with Gruden, I used to be like, damn, stop running the ball because he just didn't know how to call it. Like it just felt like he didn't know what he was doing.
It was too predictable.
Too predictable.
It was too predictable. Yeah. When we should have been passing it, we were running it for sure. Yo, but we're approaching 2 hours, man. It was a great show. Had a lot of fun. We got Arkham Raider. I got Arkham Raider pulled up with us, bro. I had ONT6 out here. EJ was with us earlier. Farrell from the East is with us. Appreciate you coming on, man. You come on multiple times this week, man. So appreciate you coming out again. Y'all got any last words just to close out this show? I know there's mixed feelings, but go ahead on some closing notes, y'all.
Man, just to start off, man, I hope I'm wrong with Josh McDaniels and he leads us to the playoffs and we win our Super Bowl with him. I hope he proves me wrong, but we'll see, brother. We just got to take it one day at a time. And just now that we signed the head coach, we got to get the defensive coordinator in here. We got to get the defensive backs coach. We got to get everybody signed in right away so we can start focusing on this draft.
Yeah, I'm gonna end it the way I started, man. Our offense is gonna be like top 5, top 3. I feel like we're gonna be legit on offense. Obviously, question marks on defense, but Raider fans, hey man, we got a better coaching staff. At the end of the day, we got a better coaching staff. And hey man, and then look for me on Twitter. Farrell from the East. I'm slowly but surely growing my Twitter following, and I'm gonna drop some future content in the future. But I appreciate you for having me on, Ray. Appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys. I'd say that if we do get Brian Flores some way somehow as a defensive coordinator, this hiring is going to be that much better. It's really going to make me feel pretty good about it. But so far, like I said, I'm reserving judgment. I'm being optimistic. But one thing for sure, I would say McDaniels is going to be the best offensive coordinator we've had in the last decade, counting Musgrave, Gruden, and Ollie. So I am excited about that. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. Because at this point, all we can do is support and just wish for the best. But Ray, I appreciate you having me on, man, and shout out to ONT and to Farrell.
Likewise, yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all being on here. Look, I just want to ask a question. Do you feel any different at all, ONT6, after this live show about Josh McDaniels?
I'm not on the edge anymore. I walked back a little bit.
For sure. And with you, Farrell, man, I know you had questions about Zeigler, however you pronounce his name. Do you have a different perspective on how
it's wait and see for me. When free agency rolls around, once I see free agency and I see the pickups, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see what they're trying to do. And then when I'm not gonna lie, with the Raiders, you never know during the draft. They always kind of like, especially with Mike Mayock and Gruden, they always made like random draft picks. But from what I'm hearing from Patriots fans, they love Zeigler. They feel like he's a good GM. Like their draft improved when it's supposedly Bill Belichick gave up his power. Yeah. But we'll see.
All right, man. Well, appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all already know what it is. It's Ready to Tape. If y'all can, make sure to hit the like button before y'all head out. Hit the subscribe button as well if you want to see more videos just like this. Like I said, we got Arkham Raider. I think this way. Arkham Raider. We got Farrell. I ain't even gonna point no more. We got Farrell with us. We got Arkham Raider. We got OT6. Y'all know who it is, man. Appreciate everybody being here. I'll check y'all out later.
Appreciate that. Peace out, Raider Nation.